Good Monday. I'm Chris Fote. This is Monday Morning Jolt. Let's get started. Sharona?
Good morning. With us today here is my friend Doug Hartle, and he's here because when there are holidays, birthday parties, and other events that requires a singer, you guys need to hire this guy.
I'm the guy.
He's the guy. He's the singer. He can do many tunes from many generations.
And he's going to demonstrate. No, I'm just kidding.
Of course he's going to demonstrate. Yeah.
This early in the morning? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it's not that early. So I think he'll be through sometime today. He will. So tell us, like, what kind of songs do you sing, and what kind of music, or like, is it like family-friendly music, or like you do any style, or?
I'm with a group called Classic Voice, and Classic Voice is a group that was formulated. It's neat. 37 years ago this summer, I sang publicly for the first time with my sister.
Wow.
We sang in a church. We kind of grew up singing in churches, so we grew up with this rich harmony in our ears. Our parents had us at concerts of Southern gospel groups, 4-part harmonies. So that's what we've grown up with. In high school, she and I sang together doing weddings and other local stuff. In 1992, I was with a bunch of police officers down in Marion, Indiana. We formed a group called The Posse. A vocal group, I know. But it started as the Sheriff's Posse because the Sheriff of Grant County at the time, John Lawson, he was on, he was kind of our leader at the time. 5 vocalists at the time. We then added some girls later on. They were school teachers, which is also law enforcement. In fact, that's school teachers should get combat pay. Really, they're front line all the time. Anyway, that group we disbanded as that group in 1997. Got back together recently as a reunion in 2009. Also in 2009, my sister and I started a jazz swing big band group called the LBD Trio. We worked for 2 years together, got a great, tight, once again, vocal harmony sound. And these are all vocal groups, by the way. Our music is canned, the entertainment is the vocalist. That's who we are. Our soprano left the group in August of this year, and we were looking for another person to start back up with the LBD Trio. You don't just find anybody to go sing jazz. Such a cohesiveness and a gelled fit. We searched and searched and didn't quite find the right fit. We went a different direction altogether. We hired Dave Homer, who is the lead singer for the Posse down in Marion. So, 20 year comes around and we're back together doing classic stuff, 50s, 60s, 70s. For instance, we're opening our shows with Carl Perkins, Elvis Presley, Blue Suede Shoes. We end our show with Brian Setzer from the 90s, Jump, Jive, and Wail. So we go from rock, rockabilly, clear up to current and modern swing music, and everything in between. So family friendly, yes. There are a couple songs that we may not do at a church. For instance, we did a function at a church a week ago. We sing Margaritaville by Jimmy Buffett. We didn't do that there, and that's okay. We don't have to have margaritas at a church.
That might be interesting.
Well, and it wasn't necessarily a church function. It was a function in a church. We probably could have gotten away with it, but that's really as crazy as we get. We don't get too offensive. There are a couple of other of our swing songs that we do. That one is called "You and Me in a Bottle Makes 3." We wouldn't do that probably on a Sunday morning if a church hired us to come in and do some fun stuff for them.
So you're venue appropriate.
We're venue appropriate. We are audience appropriate, and we try to take people on a journey through time. So that's who Classic Voice is. You can find us on the internet at www.classic-voice.com. And we're also on Facebook.
So just to make sure, you are not doing gangster rap or death metal?
We aren't doing any of that. There is one tune that we're going to do. Dave brought it to us. He goes, it's a fun tune that kind of mocks the rap industry a little bit. Now, we're not out there to mock the rap industry at all, but we're out there to try to please all audience members. We figured
and have fun.
And we figured that might be a way that we could bring in that audience as well. We do some 70s rock, some Doobie Brothers, some disco,
Disco.
like Disco Inferno.
Oh.
Remember that song?
Yeah.
That was a great
I
song.
grew up
Unfortunately,
with,
I do.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. But you know what's funny is, those are the songs that our audience, that's usually our third set if we're playing a club.
Mhm.
That's the song the audience really dances to,
Yeah.
those disco tunes.
I'm
And
surprised you don't, Bee Gees?
We don't have,
Because
but you know
harmonies.
what's funny is Dave, actually we do Frankie Valley in the Four Seasons because Dave has a really high falsetto. And we do Big Girls Don't Cry.
Well, that's good.
And you know, it's funny because Dave's a big guy and he's a former police officer, retired police chief for the city of Marion. And so for him to start singing Big Girls Don't Cry, you kind of look at him and go, what is that coming out of him? You know, so we could probably do some Bee Gees, but yeah, that's kind of where we are.
Okay.
And our focus tends to be on the harmonies. So whatever the harmonies are, we're really starting to settle into like the rockabilly / swing. That's some just fun music everybody likes.
But I have to back up, because Louis Prima, Jump Jive.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Louis
the
Louis
one.
started the ball rolling
Jump
for us
Jive,
on that
well,
stuff.
it was his song. and
Yeah.
That Brian
Yeah.
Setzer, who loves swing, does.
Absolutely.
But we want to know, you don't have a typical work week. So pretend you have a Monday somewhere. and
Okay.
Whatever your start of your work week is, how do you jumpstart that work week? How do you plan it? When you
Well,
get so many different events and different
I do different things for business as well.
Okay.
I also work with a company in Tampa, a credit repair company. With our economy being what it is right now, there are people that are hurting out there.
Right.
And our company settles debt and works to help people restore their credit legally. We don't do anything unethical. We do only what we can for the people. So my business is kind of a little unorthodox anyway because I may be in Tampa. In fact, next week at this time, I'll be on my way back from Tampa. And so how do I jumpstart my work week? I look at my calendar Sunday and see what I have to do Monday. And so it's not, there's no
Right.
formula to what I
Because
do.
it's so different.
It is, and I decided some time back when I left my job in the real world that I was no longer
real world.
I was no longer playing by the rules. I'm going to do it the way that I need to do it in order to make my life function. I am a musician. I'm a professional.
That's what you
musician.
love.
That's who I am. It's my passion. Until God takes my voice from me and I can't sing anymore, that's what I want to do. Well, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, you don't make a big living doing that. So you do some
Right.
other things. So, but whatever I do with a passion. And so that means Sunday night I look at my calendar and see what do I need to be passionate about Monday morning and what time. I may roll out Monday afternoon about 4 o'clock, the first time I see the light of day, when I go pick up my kids from school.
Right.
So what do I get? How do I get motivated? To answer that question, what starts me on Monday? My passion. What do I need to do that day to be motivated to fulfill my calling in this world? That's what I do on Mondays.
I'm dying to ask you though, do you sing in the show?
I don't. I don't. It's like I said earlier. It's
Those
too
are
early in the
people who
day.
can't
Who
sing.
can't sing? That's me.
Yeah. Like it's me because
I can't picture that fellow.
There's a
Take
very,
that out of my head.
a very protected place for you guys to sing that can't sing. So,
That's
no.
Get a nice echo in there.
Right.
The
I sing,
reverb.
I sing in the car a lot, and I see
Yeah.
people, because I get really into what I'm doing. I see
And
people
they're
around.
looking at you.
Yeah, they're looking at me going, "What the heck is that guy doing? And why is he doing it?"
So anyway, what like do you have an adage that you live by?
Pursue your passions. Pursue your passions. What are you supposed to be doing? Don't fit the mold of somebody else because they told you to do it. Find out who you are. Find out who you are. I personally happen to be a born-again Christian, and I believe that my identity comes from that. And I believe I've been given different gifts. Some of my gifts are music. Some of my gifts are mentoring and coaching. Some of my gifts are teaching. Some of my gifts, mostly, it's just about the passion of people and bringing people.
So do what you love.
Do what you love to do, man. Don't waste your life. And I tell my musician friends, especially here, since you can't make a living at it, go get a job to pay your bills and then go get a musical career to do what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Those are not always the same thing.
That's right. So tell us something about you that even those who are closest to you would be surprised about.
I'm not always vocal. I'm not always out there.
You're an introvert?
I'm not an introvert because I love people. I love being around people. But a friend of mine was just talking about a difficult time that they were going through, and they said, "I just don't want to be alone." I said, "You know, I used to live there, but I love my Sunday nights with just me and my cat. People that know me, people that see me in public singing or see me working my business or helping people, most of them would think I'm always just on. I'm not. I love my alone, my reflection time.
But I think that's typical. A lot of people that are entertainers and have to be out there, they really get their energy by being by themselves. But they exert a lot of energy with people. But
certainly, it's a rejuvenating, rejuvenating or
Mm-hmm.
recharge or refueling. Refueling. I spend a lot of time at home listening to. Right now, my favorite cable station is the Christmas music station.
Mm-hmm.
I start listening to Christmas music. My goal every year, and my kids hate this, when I see the first Christmas decoration at Walgreens or Menards, or I'm listening to Christmas music. I started doing that this year. My daughter goes, "You must have gone to Walgreens." And I said, "Yeah, I did."
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One of the questions that we ask is like, if you would have a superpower, what superpower would you have?
Wow. I could get really quirky and silly and say, the power to heal the world for world peace. And I think everybody wants peace. Nobody really wants the conflict. Sometimes the conflict tends to be necessary.
Well, some people like conflict.
Oh.
Some people do like
They thrive on it.
But I believe that's because they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
They're not comfortable with
Right.
who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So my superpower would be, what's interesting. I've thought of this more than once. It would be peace, but it would be inner peace.
Inner peace.
That my music, my singing, I can make eye contact with the audience and heal them of what they're hurting from. And we're all hurting. We all go through our stuff. And we get to be our age, we go, man, I've had a lot of stuff. I'm 40.
A lot of scars, a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had somebody tell me one time, "Man, Doug, I wish I had your wisdom. You're so young." And I was 40 years old when he said this. And I said, "No, you don't. Because with that wisdom comes the battle wounds."
Yeah.
So what I tell people is, man, again, find out who you are, and that's going to bring a lot of inner healing. If I could somehow, with just my song and looking at their eyes, say, "You're healed," that would be my superpower. That's it's a God. God has that ability. But oftentimes he has us go through things because he wants to heal from the experience, not necessarily from some kind of miracle.
So that's nice. And then you mentioned your website. You can mention it again. How do people get hold of you?
They can find us on the web at www.classic-voice.com. Classic-voice.com. Find us on Facebook, or get a hold of me on my cell phone. I do a lot of our own booking, 260-403-1413.
Okay.
We would like to thank Doug for coming and joining us, and we would like to thank the audience. We are recording
Thank you, Chris.
at New Ground Coffee Company, and this is Monday Morning Jolt. Use it.